Pencom approves guidelines on accessing retired savings balance for payments of mortgage. Oil prices rise as Iran deal stalls Russian supply in question amid conflict. Gold hits more than 2-year low on dollar strength. This is Business Express on the network service of the NTA, and we are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Let's bring you up to speed with business development. President Muhammad Buhari says increased collaboration with Nigeria is essential towards mitigating the current and potential future supply chain challenges as the country is ready to fill greater amount of global demand. Addressing participants at the second Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum in New York, the president assured foreign investors of an enabling business environment that is open and friendly. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum is put together to, amongst others, share practical experiences on business and economy, as well as garner support for Nigeria's high-impact developmental ambitions. These include driving strategic and financial investment into Nigeria's real sector and, most importantly, positioning the country as a major international supply chain partner to leading global economies like the United States.
Nigeria and the United States have been close allies for many decades.
Apart from being Nigeria's main trading partner, the United States, President Buhari said, is also one of the country's most important diplomatic partners.
In 2020, Nigeria exported over 1.69 billion United States dollars worth of goods to the United States. These exports were primarily made up of crude oil and other petroleum products. Nigeria's capability is not just limited to oil and gas industry, but a variety of other sectors that hold real potentials.
As Africa's largest economy, with over 200 million strong consumer market, the president takes pride in the fact that Nigeria is home to a range of attractive opportunities in critical economic sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, manufacturing, infrastructure development, and technology.
I have always held the strong conviction that there is no crisis without an accompanying opportunity and solution. The situation in the world today presents an opportunity for real sector investments in Nigeria. I trust that this event will help build partnerships that will translate into increased trade and investment flows between Nigeria and the United States.
And apart from strengthening its position as a gateway to an integrated continental market of 1.3 billion consumers, as well as an aggregate GDP of $3.4 trillion, Nigeria also has fiscal investment incentives that include 3 to 5 years of tax holidays towards encouraging increased private capital inflows.
Going into partnership with trusted local and foreign partners who have well-established networks and understanding the dynamics of the country is one way to guarantee success.
Meanwhile, the vast potential and opportunities that abound in Nigeria continue to top deliberations at the second Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum in New York. Benny Adams reports that the forum attracted investors from across the globe.
Nigeria's economy and population are the largest in Africa, with more than $400 billion in GDP and a growing population of more than 200 million people, is an asset, says the man wearing the president's shoe at the opening session of this event.
We recorded a quarterly GDP growth in Q1 2022. The growth has been mostly driven by non-oil sector, giving credence to the revenue source and diversification agenda of our government.
True to these words, investments are thriving in Nigeria, and with interactions ongoing at this forum, there is the hope that more miles in the investment journey will be covered.
The Ministry of Petroleum, we're also setting up a one-stop shop to be able to make investment easy for people who are coming.
The investment that government has made in this direction is what has caused the increase in the non-oil exports and the results that we're seeing today.
Our results still look good, and they can support almost 9 to 10 months of imports.
With encomiums from the global community comes commitment for partnership.
There is an American commitment to Nigeria, and CCA will continue to play our part.
While information on opportunities are being relayed at various plenary sessions, it is expected that more deals will be signed for betterment of Nigeria's economy. From New York, I am Benny Adams.
Now, Koko is a Nigerian investment and economic expert and is attending the General Assembly in New York. He joins me to look at Nigeria's prospects and investment drive as Nigeria looks to deepen global participation in the economy. You're welcome to Business Express.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, what is Nigeria bringing to the table, and how will you rate investor interest so far?
Now, there's always this high interest to invest in Nigeria, owing to the fact that it is I call Nigeria an untapped economy. We've not, there's still opportunities in the solid mineral sector, in being, our participation in the global value chain. When it comes to raw materials, we still have a whole lot to do. Even in the oil and gas, we've not been able to do so much as regards, adding value to what we have, and then our ability to also take advantage of our population, because there are a few things that drive investors, because every investor is resource seeking. We have natural resources, we have human resources, so we also have a huge market, in respect to our population. So there's so much to look out for an investor here in Nigeria, wanting to do business in Nigeria. So it's just that most of the time, all the speaking about the prospect, and then the downers, or what investors expect, is they want to see your ability to manage the efficiency within your system, because like I always say, money is like investment, or money is like water. It moves to areas of least resistance. So if it's easy for you to go into a country, execute your business, do your business, like I said, it's an untapped economy.
Okay, how cogent is the investment summit? Just give us a picture.
Now, I always say, I stand on the other end when people say, oh, must we gather, see, whether we like it or not, until you create platforms for us where you tell your own story by yourself, it becomes difficult, because every other person, see, we are all competing. Nations are competing for the same investments. Yes, at every point in time, there's over 900 billion on the chessboard. So, and every nation in the world, including United States of America, everybody's pursuing this same investment. So you have to be able to be there. You have to be on the table. You have to create forums and platforms where you can interact with these people. Tell them it's just like market. It's just like telling me, just like we have in local Nigeria, where you have days of market days, AK, Nkwo, Afo. Why do you have market? You have market because you know that when you get to the market, you find what you want to buy. Well, that's why you have market. So you must be able to create a platform so that because I mean it's a large world. Investors won't just come to Nigeria and start roaming. They won't just go to agencies of government. But this particular forums or gatherings streamlines, how you were able to find the network people that you're looking for. So it just that confluence that happens within that that hemisphere. That's really what everybody is interested in. So if you ask me, it was a good meeting yesterday, and then the president was able to hit it hard, telling everybody this is what we have, these are the opportunities that exist. And then there were other people who were the people at the subnational level, like the Ogun State governor. He was able to streamline and say these are the things I have. If you come, I'll be able to do A, B, C, D. The Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission will be able to spell out these are the incentives that we have. So, and the petroleum minister was also there to say we're also creating platforms so that you become, because everybody here recognizes that there's a competition. As you have resources, other people have resources. So we're trying to tell people these are the things we have done to be able to streamline, the ease of doing business in Nigeria.
So what areas is Nigeria looking to take advantage of to lure investors?
Now, basically, when it comes to, like I said, agriculture, because the Minister of Agriculture was there talking to a whole lot of people. I saw him interacting very well because, I mean, you need to be able to, with the vast land that you have and the manpower that you have, you need to be able to explore to see how a lot of technology transfer can happen. And like I said earlier, our global participation in global value chain, being able to push out raw materials to support some manufacturing in other climes. Then the oil and gas sector, the NNPC, they were fully represented there, led by the Minister of Petroleum. I mean, these are areas. And then the Minister of Trade and Investment, who generally looks at all sectors, so a lot were discussed. And then again, let's not forget, technology was, played a prominent. Everybody's going digital. Everybody's looking at how technology can support all the sectors. So, I mean, these are areas, that were looked at.
Competition is at the heart of the African continental free trade area, but economies like Nigeria are still not there in that regards. What do you see as the gains for meeting supply chains demands from the general meeting?
No, the gains are enormous, really. Like I said, transfer of technology, being able to see how other people are doing things, hear from them, and then again, you being able to see you're seeing things from an investor's prism. It's always good for you to know that these are the things they expect from you, how to streamline the processes, because you might think it's just about the law. They'll tell you no, it's about the process. So if you're able to know exactly the heartbeat of the investors that you're expecting, it becomes it makes life a lot easier for you.
Okay, tell us about the Trade and Investment Forum you're participating.
Oh yeah, I'll be speaking at an event today. Later on today, it's all focused on a little focused on power. The discussion around Africa and power after the initiative by the former president of United States, Barack Obama. Power for Africa. So that initiative have been there. So we're now going to look at how far have we gone in Africa, taking advantage of the opportunities, the financing that have been made available from different the global financial market. How come Africa is still in the dark? When I say Africa, majority of African countries are still looking at how to take advantage of some of these opportunities regarding technology transfer, financing, financial engineering, and then being able to have a system of recouping investment when it comes to power. So those are the conversations we're going to be having later on today, and then we have a whole lot of delegations coming from other African countries. It's not just a Nigerian event, it's an African event. People from Malawi, Zambia, Ghana, they're all going to be participating there. So it's going to be a very good time to have
what result would you what result would you be expecting at the end of this?
Go ahead. Now the results will be, that's how it works. When it comes to being able to check where you are at this point in time regarding targets set by nations, countries in Africa. Where are we going to go to from here? Are there, it's the general assessment. You need to do an assessment and say, okay, this is where we are at this point in time. This thing was launched a few years ago by Barack Obama, and these are initiatives. These are things. These were things that were carried out, and everybody said, okay, these are the things we should do. So have we gotten to where we ought to go to? If we have not, what are the things? What are the lessons learned? And then it's like a self-appraisal for African nations to see how far they have gone, what they have been able to do, how they've been able to take advantage of, renewable energy. Have they been able to, put it, there's even a fire session that's going to be on how technology is going to help drive, access to power in Africa.
Okay, thank you very much, Ogbonna Okuku. We hope that you bring a lot of investors to Nigeria when you're coming back.
Thank you very much.
And a lot of power as well.
Yeah.
Okay, now moving on, the urgent need for corporates to build firewalls and mitigate against potential vulnerability and subsequent financial losses to cybersecurity threats should any breach occur to businesses has once again been reiterated as crucial. Managing Director, Central Securities Clearing System, Haruna Jallo Waziri, said stakeholders in the capital market must be aware of emerging cyber threats to the stock market towards building resilience. Apodade Salami reports.
Central Securities Clearing System, CSCS, with over 2 decades of operation, has been serving as the central securities depository for the Nigerian capital market, which is pivotal to the growth and transformation of the market. In order to continuously deliver on its statutory functions as the central depository for equities, management of CSCS has finalized plans to bring together industry experts to raise awareness about main and emerging cybersecurity threats to stakeholders in Nigerian capital markets and businesses across the country with a view to achieve sustainable solutions.
Oh, it's a key aspect of, if you like, how the world is going to live, not just financial services or financial markets. As you know, with open banking that's coming, open finance, and, open APIs, interconnectivity across everyone, cybersecurity becomes top requirement and it's critical. What is important and critical is to protect ourselves from intrusions and disturbances within the system itself.
With the theme, Future of Cybersecurity, Imagining Issues and Solutions, stakeholders say CSCS, being a technology company with digitized operations arising from the huge investment in technology, has been in the forefront of continued advocacy towards information security and a cybercrime-free business environment.
We need people to understand that in Nigeria we're very conscious of cybersecurity. We also need people to understand that as an organization that is far dated to 25 years ago, we have spent a lot of time not just digitizing but also protecting a lot of the work that we're doing.
That today, about 2.4 million attacks this morning, attempts already. So we know that as we too are going to work 9 to 5, the hackers are not sleeping. They're going to work to go and learn how to hack us. So this conference wants to see the future of cybersecurity, how it is evolving, so that we too can stay abreast of the game.
As technology keeps advancing, marked by the emergence of the internet and social media, regular engagement to promote advocacy for the protection of information against unauthorized access was agreed upon as the way forward.
The National Pension Commission, PENCOM, has approved the issuance and immediate implementation of guidelines on accessing retired savings account balance towards payment of equity contribution for residential mortgage by retired savings account holders. The approval is in line with Section 89, subsection 2 of the Pension Reform Act of 2014, which allows retired savings account holders to use a portion of their retired savings account balance towards payment of equity for residential mortgage. Now, oil prices rose in early Asian trade on Friday on the prospect that Iran nuclear agreement and Moscow's new mobilization campaign in its invasion of Ukraine will further restrict global supplies when crude futures gained 16 cents to $90.62 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up 22 cents to $83.71 per barrel. The Senate Committee on the Federal Capital Territory is proposing the payment of property tax on buildings that have been completed but not occupied in the Federal Capital Territory. Chairman of the committee, Senator Smart Adeyemi, at an inaugural meeting of members of the committee, made it clear that uninhabited houses and estates are littered in and around the Federal Capital Territory without generating revenue for the FCT.
To take from the rich to be able to save the poor. So if we have built houses and nobody is occupying them, we'll find out why these houses have not been occupied, and we'll call the attention of government to lock them up so that criminals do not take charge. So that it doesn't become a thing for kidnappers. So these properties that are completed, that are not occupied, what we're going to do is to put in place measures that will compel them to start paying taxes, council tax, so that we can use the money to develop the city.
Let's see price of commodities. Nigeria's equities market has been inching downward, and this Friday is not an exception. At the close of business, the all-share index closed for the week at 49,026.62 basis point after closing out the previous session at 49,190.34 basis point. Investors in 3,206 deals traded 169 million shares worth 3.192 billion naira. Equity capitalization ended the week at 26.44 trillion naira. And now it's time to catch up with global market activities with Inegalgo.
Global stocks hit two-year lows this Friday as investors feared bigger interest rate rises are on their way to tame inflation. European markets were among the biggest losers, with oil and gas stocks and basic resources being the worst fallers. The DAX was down 1.26%, UK's FTSE dipped 1.53%, and the French CAC slipped 1.11%. Asia Pacific also fell on Friday. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index lost 1.18%. The Shanghai Composite dropped 0.66%, while Japanese markets were closed for a holiday. U.S. stock futures declined to close out another losing week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average futures fell by 0.77%, S&P 500 lost 0.82%, and Nasdaq 100 shed 1.18%. Meanwhile, African markets wrapped up the week in mixed territory. South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, Namibia's overall index, Morocco's free float index, and Ghana's GSE Composite were stocks Index in red, while Kenya's Nairobi All Share and Tunisia's Tune Index posted gains.
Well, that's it. This is where we end the program for this week. Don't forget you can access all previous episodes on YouTube. Business Express returns on Monday by 3 p.m. I am Musa Abubakar saying have a good weekend.